This is one of the best Minecraft seeds. You spawn on this island in the lake. There's a village completely surrounded by water with 2 blacksmiths, and the surroundings are gorgeous. So I am going to build you a base and give it to you as a world download for free in Bedrock and Java. And I'm going to make it right here on this little plain section right next to the village and the water. And I'll tell you how to get the free world download a little bit later on in the video. Now let's just crack on with it. And I'm going to be making this up as I go along, but I think I'm going to start with these blocks. It's not a complex palette at all. Most of what I've got there is what goes in the base, not what makes the base. So I just need to clear this area and make a template. This is the weird shape that I'm going to be making this Minecraft underground base in. Yeah, I know it's weird. Trust the process on this one, all right? That red square in the middle is 11 by 11 blocks. The white around it makes the square 17 by 17 blocks. We've got 4 blue squares that are each 5 by 5 and 4 purple squares that are each 9 by 9. I need to dig these out. My blue squares, they're going 4 deep. The purple and the white squares are both going 6 deep, and the red square in the middle, that is going 9 deep. So it looks like that. If you want to build along with me, I've put the seed for this in the description. It is 1 followed by 4 zeros and then 3 6. I actually reviewed this seed in my recent best Minecraft seeds video. I'll put the link for that down in the description as well. That one's got some great places for you to build a base. I've lined everything with stripped oak wood just to give me a bit of a backdrop to work with. So let's start getting some structure in. What you want to do is you want to choose one of your little 5 by 5 square areas and come to one of the sides. I'm going to do the side that is next to the village. Come to this bit here and knock that out, then come inside, and you want to build yourself up a staircase shape so as you can get yourself a full stair that goes up to the top. Now if you wanted to, you could do that on all of them or just a couple of them. I'm actually going to put a back door in the exact opposite spot, which is just here. And because of the changes of levels, we need to be able to move up and down those as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock out on these middle sections 1 block on either side, there and there, and then I'm going to place a step that comes out 1 and then in 1 like that. I'm using oak because it matches everything. Then on this central area, in one of your corners, knock out 1 2 3 4 5, then go down another 1 2 3 4 5, and then knock out the bit at the back all the way around. Then place 3 steps there, 5 steps there, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 steps there. Do the same in the opposite corner. So all of your areas are now accessible from everywhere inside the base. And the idea is that each area in the base is going to be dedicated to a certain thing, a certain function. So we're going to come at each one at a time. And the first thing we're going to look at is crops. So in one of my end pods, I'm going to come directly opposite these steps here. I'm going to knock out that block, and fill that with water. I'm going to come to the center, which is there. I'm going to knock out that block, fill that with water, and to the other side, knock out that block, fill that with water. And then going to come underneath the step and under there, fill that with water as well. We've got 3 lots of water. I'm going to put dirt in front of each of them like that. That is more than enough water to hydrate the entirety of this area. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a row of dirt that is 3 deep across each of the walls like this to make a horseshoe of what will become farmland. And I'm also going to pop out that block and turn those into mud as well. So we've got this little 5 by 3 area that we can walk on, and everything else can have something planted on it. And I've built in a horseshoe of crops. We've got wheat going around the outside, potatoes coming around the middle, and carrots going around the inside. I'm just going to knock this block out underneath the step there as well, so as that can become water, I'll place dirt back, and then I can put sugarcane on there and on there. Then right across the back, I'm going to place a row of dirt 2 deep that is 2 blocks above those crops. I'm then going to put a row of upside down steps all the way along the front, except for that middle one. On the middle one, I'm going to come around and build myself a staircase that goes right up to it. And this is where I'm going to plant melons and pumpkins. So on the block directly opposite your stairs, knock that out, then knock that out, replace that with some water, which is going to allow you to hoe this back row. So I've placed 4 melons and 4 pumpkins on either side of that central block. I put a sea lantern in there to give it some light, and then I put some sugarcane in, so we got a 3rd stalk of that. And what I've decided I'm going to do, I'm going to the back here, knock those 3 out, knock those 3 out. I'm going to replace those 3 blocks with dirt there, and there. Similarly in this corner, they're going to become dirt there, and there. And I'm going to put some bamboo on those 3. So I've got another crop growing in here. And I'm then going to come to the back, and over that water, I'm going to place a sea lantern just to give some more light on the underneath. I've placed 9 barrels in the center there, so you've got plenty of storage, and then a hanging lantern on a fence post on either side. And for now, that's that section done. Let's go on to the next one, workstations. Let's use this section here for it. Counting up from the bottom, 1, 2, 3 blocks. At the top of the 3rd block, I'm going to place a slab. So that is a top slab, and we're going to run that all the way around in a horseshoe. I've missed out these little corners here because I'm going to bring the slab down one, so that's a bottom slab, and then I'm going to have top slabs on there, so I can come up and down that and then access very easily this platform all the way around. Then underneath your little shelf here, we're going to take out this middle block all the way along like that, and we're going to replace it with a barrel, 1 in each section. We're then going to come up and on top, and we're going to remove these and the ones underneath it as well. So these are the ones that are above the barrels. I'm then going to get a hopper, and I'm going to shift click a hopper into each of those barrels in the middle there. I'm placing a smoker. I'm going to place furnaces on either side of that smoker, 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to get a blast furnace, and I'm going to place it there and there. I'm then going to take out each of these blocks, and we're going to place a hopper going into the top of each of these, and then above those we're going to place a barrel facing outwards like that. And this way each of your furnaces can work independently from each other, smelting something different at the same time depending on what you need. And we're using barrels because then we can put a solid block on top of them. I'm then going to shift click a trapdoor onto the face of each of these hoppers and flat them down. And I'm going to get another slab and place it over those hoppers there just to hide them up. I'm going to take that all the way around so as it looks consistent. I've left these blocks below these barrels because then you can put a sign on it or maybe an item frame to say what's in it. That's entirely up to you. I'm going to leave it blank because I might want to smelt more than one different thing going through each furnace. And I've placed the other workstations inside. We've got the loom and the smithing table right at the back inset into the wall, surrounded by barrels. The stone cutter is to the left on top of a crafting table. We've got more barrels on this side up on the middle level, and then another barrel, just a single one at the bottom, which feeds into a composter, which feeds into that end barrel. And then finally a crafting table and a cartography table in this central bench with 2 glowing item frames, one with a telescope and one with a set of shears, because they're quite useful tools too. Underneath that workbench we've got even more barrels for storage, and we've got storage barrels all the way around the outside of the room. And if you want to be able to access the back, you can use the fact that we've got a trapdoor right there to go straight through it. Next up, it's the magic room. And I'm using the definition of magic in its very broadest sense here. I'm going to come to the far corner here and place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bookshelves, and then another 4 here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to pop 1 to the side of that, and 1 to the side of that, and then going to bring another level of bookshelves all the way along like that. Before I put the enchanting table in, however, I'm just going to knock all of these blocks out and replace them with red wool. You'll see why in just a minute. I'm going to pop the enchanting table on right there, and that will start getting powered. You can see the little bits and pieces coming across to show that is a fully powered enchanting table. I'm then going to place an anvil there and a second anvil there, because they do run out, don't they? I'm then going to put a grindstone right there and also a lantern right there. I'm going to place a chest rather than I'm fed up with barrels. Let's just get some chests in there. So let's put a couple of chests in there and also a chest there and a chest there as well. That gives us plenty of storage. You could even, if you felt really cheeky, place a couple of chests up there and get yourself a lantern and pop it in the middle. I think that's quite a nice looking enchantment setup right there. We now need to put more magic in, and for me that says potions. And the first thing I'm going to do is make an infinite water source in this block here, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take out that block and that block. I'm going to place water there and water there as well. I'm going to put a slab there and a slab there, and I'm also going to line that so as it doesn't look like stone. Slab there, there, and there, because otherwise it just looks a little bit unsightly. I'd much rather it all looked like wood. That then you can't mess up. We can just take our water from there. I'm going to take my brewing stand right there, and I'm going to get another chest there to sort us out with the brewing stand. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that brewing stand out there. I'm going to place it there on top of another shelf just to raise it up just a little bit. So we've got enchanting, we've got potions. I've even put in a little nether wart farm there, separated out with a fence on top of some red wool. Again, I'll show you why I've done that in just a second. But there's one more obvious magic thing that I'm going to put in. And that's a nether portal. If you're telling me that going to another dimension isn't magic, well, then I don't know what you're talking about. I set it into the wall so as I could put those fence gates in, and that'll stop any zombified piglin coming through having a chat with you in other areas of your base. I've placed a block of red wool underneath all of the chests, and that way, when I place down carpet, I don't have those unsightly, not carpeted areas. I appreciate there is a ever so slightly dropped on there, but that doesn't matter. When you look at it from a distance, it's going to look like the entire thing has got a continuous carpet, and that's much nicer. Finish it off with some paintings on the walls and some chests on some shelves, and I think that looks great. And finally, I'm going to put in a trading room. Those villagers over there are so close, it seems a shame to not invite some of them over for servitude. So I'm going to create some pods on either side of the room. Just going to place a block separating that out there, and then similarly on this side, a block separating those out like that. I think we're going to go for a lot of lecterns. We have got 9 spots for our traders. We've got 4 lecterns so we can get some librarians, and then we've also got an armourer, 2 toolsmiths and 2 weaponsmiths. And obviously you can make any combo you wanted. And I'm going to get tricky because I'm going to place a honey block inside each of these pods. Now what this honey block's going to do is it's going to stop the villagers that are inside being able to jump, and what that means is they're not going to be able to get out. I don't need to put like a lid over the pod to stop them jumping. All I need is this honey block, which seems a little bit cruel, but it just means I can put other stuff above them if I choose to. And what I want to put above their heads is a barrel, because frankly, these villagers are just a commodity. Obviously, don't tell them I said that. And with some more shelves with chests on, I think this looks like a great room for these villagers to spend the rest of eternity in. And they're all stuck in there very nicely. If you do download this world, and I'll tell you how to do that in just a minute, then you can swap around the workstations, get the exact trades that you want. In there at the minute are things like silk touch already, but you know, you choose what you want. So all 4 sides are filled up, we've got to do the middle. And this bit is where you're going to live. And I'm starting off with a triple bed with a nice aesthetic water pool in the middle. I'm building a little wardrobe here. I put note blocks at the back as decoration. Those trapdoors flap out sideways like that, and these trapdoors flap down like that. So if I flap those down, that means I can put 1, 2, 3 armor stands inside there like that, but then I can flap them back up to close them up. But I want 5 armor stands inside there, not 3. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to place on the above one, I'm going to place a wall there. I'm going to get myself a piston. I'm going to place a piston there and a piston right there. I'm going to get another armor stand. I'm going to shift click it on top of that trapdoor and 1 shift click it on top of that trapdoor. I'm going to get a redstone block. I'm going to power that piston, redstone block, power that piston, get rid of both of those pistons, and then I can open these trap doors. Then I get 5 armor stands all the way across there. I can then come up and close those trapdoors up like that, and I get the lids all finished beautifully. I will actually take those trapdoors out because I'm going to use a slab. I can then place armor on all 5 of those armor stands, not just 3. It saves a bit of space, plus it looks much cooler. So there is your completed wardrobe. I left the doors off, but you can put doors on it as well if you wanted to. I've carpeted it around that little water source. I've also put a crafting table and an ender chest with a clock up on an item frame over the bed. Plenty more chests and all the tools you could possibly need. And I've also put fences around that drop so you don't fall in. We're nearly done inside, but that level just above where you're sleeping looks a little bit bland. That's where all of your storage is going. We are going to knock out 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 high. So it looks like that. And you are going to put double chests 4 high all the way up to the top. Yes, I know the top one won't open. We're going to sort that out in just a moment. And we're going to do it by placing an upside down oak wood step above each of the top ones. And I'm adding just a little bit of lighting with hanging lanterns on a fence post in each corner. And then we've got these little areas here. What are we going to do with those? And I just thought it'd be nice to decorate it. And I've extended that decoration idea by putting composters with leaves on top throughout the corners of the big room. And then we've got a little scaffolding with a pot and a sapling of each of the different trees, plus a cactus because I only had 7 saplings all the way around. So if you wanted to grab those and build yourself a tree somewhere, you could also do that. I've placed upside down wooden stairs just on the corners here for a bit of texture, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place glass all the way over the top of this entire base. So it looks like that. I'm now placing oak wood on top of all of the stripped oak wood that I've got as my walls, making sure that they all face in the same direction. And I've also placed it over the doorways. And you can also shift click them on top of those barrels, which is why we use barrels there rather than chests, because then the barrels can still be accessible. And I'm then going to put an oak slab next to each of these oak woods like this, and replace these inside walls that are currently dirt next to the steps with some stripped oak. So your base looks exactly like that. And you can then decorate around the outside however you want. Bushes, flowers, plants, trees, pathways. I don't know, just fill your boots. Do whatever it is you'd like to do. And for the sake of you downloading the world, I'm going to leave it completely bare so you can come and do your own thing. To download this in Bedrock and also in Java, go to avomance.com. That's avomance.com and you'll see a free downloads tab. Click on that and there is a dedicated link. One for Bedrock, one for Java, specifically for this base. Let me know in the comments whether or not you built this along with me, or maybe whether you downloaded it. Or perhaps let me know what you think I missed. What would you have done differently? I always love hearing from you down in those comments, and I'll look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.